The following review is intended for entertainment purposes and targeted for adult fans of the series.
A mysterious man in blue named Mr. Wiz comes on to the Buzz Blast show with a ad-lib. Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and welcome to another Power Rangers Dino Fury episode review. All that glitters is not gold, but we've got a golden opportunity to expand the size of the Ranger squad. Let's take a look at the 15th episode of Dino Fury, Storm Surge.
Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel.
Yeah, and make sure you got your notifications set up by hitting that little bell icon. Right you.
What he said was, you can consider checking us out on Patreon or Ko-fi at Orange Ranger Videos.
We start things off at Buzz Blast, where Ollie has immediately let Javi down. You see, Ollie was supposed to pick up samples of something called Punions, a pickle-onion hybrid, for a story Javi was going to do. Not sure if I'm more confused about why Buzz Blast is doing a story on that, or why it's called a punion when the vegetable that is turned into a pickle actually grows as a cucumber. However, Ollie completely forgot about that, instead going to pick up a new pair of noise-canceling headphones that were going to sell out immediately. It was a new smartphone the week before that, the new smartwatch that we've seen a couple of times the week before that. Ollie is obsessed with getting the latest technology. That does feel a touch informed, a touch finding out about it just right now, but it's something that fits his overall character, so I'm fine with it. Jane, who in this scene acts entirely like a frustrated news director and makes sense and acts normal, and it's actually kind of weird, pulls him off of that story anyway to work on something more important. A strange storm system has been circling in the bay for days, and she wants Javi to get an interview with an expert. Ollie says that his mother has been studying that storm system, even preparing to launch a submarine drone to study things. Javi asks if he can interview Dr. Akana, but Ollie says she'll be too busy gathering all the data. But hey, Javi can interview him since he helped put the drone together. Zato, oh yeah, by the way, the other 3 Rangers are there. I really wish Buzz Blast would just go ahead and hire them so I can stop questioning what they're doing there all the time. Zato points out that the bay is right where the Ninja Nexus Prism, I don't care if you want us to forget how stupid that name was, I'm always going to remember, dove into the water looking for something on a mission from the Morphin Masters. Javi agrees to interview Ollie, but stresses that this is really important to him. When Ollie leaves to go check on his mom's progress, Javi reminds him that he needs to be back for the interview at 2 o'clock. Over at the bay, Dr. Akana is still incredibly attractive, and the conversation once again turns to technology. The submarine drone is scanning the bay floor, but apparently her laptop is so old that it fritzes when she touches the thing, and it's taking a long time to process the data. Ollie to the rescue. He says he saw the newest top-of-the-line laptop out there on sale. She says it's still too expensive, sort of quietly confirming that Ollie is spending her money on all of these gadgets, and this laptop will do the job as long as they're patient. Speaking of, nearby, Mucus and Slyther are patiently waiting for Dr. Lady, as Slyther calls her, to solve the mystery of the storm so they can inform Void Knight. People scream and jog lightly away from something, and Ollie leaves to go investigate. He finds a Sporix evolving into a beast, a fish monster who attacks with water. Perhaps not wanting to show favoritism after last time's solo morph, Ollie instamorphs this time. The other Rangers show up, and Zato goes straight to the blazing Dino Key. However, the monster's Splash NATO can block the flames. It beats the Rangers around a little bit with water, but then runs away. The Rangers regroup with Dr. Akana to make sure that she's okay. Javi tells Ollie that it's time for the interview, and Zato says the others will head back to the base to make sure that everything's okay and monitor the situation. At Buzz Blast, just before the interview, a mysterious man in blue named Mr. Wiz comes on with a contest. Guess how many gumballs are in the jar to win a brand new laptop that just so happens to be the one that Ollie was looking at.
Oh, well, gosh darn, ain't that convenient.
Ollie says that figuring out how many gumballs are in the jar is a matter of simple math, which I call BS on because you can clearly see that not all of the gumballs are the same size. But Javi asks him to please focus on the interview, even as guesses start getting texted in. But during the interview, Ollie barely even pays attention, instead calculating how many gumballs are in the jar until he gets it right. He wins the laptop, and Jane is placated when Mr. Wiz gives her the gumballs, but Javi is really hurt by Ollie's lack of attention. Ollie brushes this off, saying with the laptop, they can give him a better story, and they leave. Ollie sets the laptop up for his mom, and even she's impressed that it can process the drone's data in seconds. The drone finds a glowing object near the center of the bay, but then grabs onto the object and moves away entirely on its own. They realize that the laptop has been hacked, and Ollie and Javi call the base, saying they're in hot water. At the base, Solon scans for any interfering transmissions and finds a shortwave transmission coming about a mile from the two. Zato says, "I'm sure glad you aren't extinct." That's a weird way of saying thank you. "Wow, great job. I sure am glad you're not dead."
What did you say?
Ollie and Javi run over there, with the other Rangers teleporting over shortly thereafter. Hang on just a second. Ollie and Javi ran a mile before the Rangers could instantly teleport over. Anyway, Ollie thinks Slyther hacked the laptop, but Slyther helps him put it all together. Slyther was Mr. Wiz from the very beginning, and this whole thing has been a setup. And that gives me the opportunity to say that Mr. Wiz really was Slyther. Campbell Cooley cameos in the episode as Slyther's human form in this case, even using Slyther's voice, in fact. The Sporix Beast's name is Tidemare. Meh. And Slyther sticks it on the Rangers as they leave. Amelia uses this line about the monster looking a little shallow. And I swear there's like a 3-second silent pause, like insert laugh track here. The Rangers morph and start a fightin', but none of their fancy dino keys seem to work against Tidemare's water. Mucus and Slyther head to the Bay Beach to grab the item, with Dr. Akana hiding nearby. It's a big glowing box, but when they get it on land, the box opens and something steps out that is very clearly a Power Ranger. The two flee, with Dr. Akana observing all of this in awe. Back over with the Rangers, they're still getting beaten around by Tidemare's water when something suddenly blasts it back. Enter the Gold Ranger. Our new Ranger is gold and navy blue with a larger, different looking gun. Tidemare's attacks don't work, so it summons henchmen. Gold is like, interesting, and laughs as he fights them, also mentioning Mosa a couple of times. He swaps to an Electro Dino Key, which powers up a big, gold, shiny Electro Battle Armor. Tidemare tries a Water Shield, but electric types beat water types, so that doesn't work. They each power up a final move, Gold attaching a small yellow sword to his big gun, and they blow Tidemare up before it even has the chance to grow. The Rangers demorph and run over to thank their new ally, asking who they are. But they simply say hello to Zato by name. Zato looks shocked, and then Gold teleports away. The Rangers ask just what's going on, but Zato just continues to look dumbfounded, then grabbing the Sporix and teleporting away himself. The Rangers check back in with Dr. Akana, who gives a breathless account of the Gold Ranger's emergence. She even theorizes that since the Rangers are connected to the morphing grid, unless this takes place in the Beast Morphers universe, I'm not entirely sure how she would know that, The energy in that pod may have been building up over time, ionizing the air above, which caused the storm. Of course, the missing piece of that puzzle is that the storm only formed sometime after the Nexus Prism went into the water and did something to the pod.
Something's happening to it!
We get the most ham-handed, trite apology moral of the day wrap-ups ever. Ollie apologizes that his obsession with tech hurt Javi, with absolutely no signs that he learned anything about that problem in the first place. He even gives Javi his new noise-canceling headphones, since those will help with his music. His old ones will work just fine.
Shut up or f*** off, ideally both in either order.
And that's where the episode ends. What's that? Oh, yeah, there is a dumb comedic stinger with Jane and Jayborg. What happens in it? Oh, gotcha. Let's balance the scales. Episode 15, Storm Surge. Pros, a dynamic debut for a 6th Ranger, a Ranger debut in an episode not focused on them, and Campbell Cooley's cameo. Cons, the moral is really badly handled, Ollie gets some character damage, and anticlimax for the sake of ongoing plot. An interesting 6th Ranger debut. Storm Surge gets 3.5 scales out of 5. Kind of like last time, right down to being an Ollie Focus episode, come to think about it, this episode feels more like setup. The moral is once again an afterthought, this time handled far worse. I feel like the payoff is going to be more immediate. We should learn more about Gold in the next episode or two, but other than the Gold Ranger showing up, I don't feel like this episode pushed things too far down the road at all. Well, we have a brand new Ranger. It's time to get to know them. Let's take a peek at the 24th episode of Power Rangers RPM, Ancient History. Oh, I'm sorry, the 16th episode of Dino Fury, Ancient History. The new Gold Ranger reveals the dark truth about Zato's past, and the Dino Fury Rangers learn what makes a true leader. That is going to wrap up another Power Rangers Dino Fury episode review. Thank you, heroes, so much as always for watching. Now that the video's done, you can let me know what you thought of this episode, as well as my review of it, down in the comments below. While you're down there, make sure you smack that thumbs up button to let me know that you enjoyed this video. And if you'd like to support the channel in ways that are not Patreon or Ko-fi, check out my Teespring store to score some sweet Orange Ranger merch. Until next time, heroes, may the power protect you. Punions, a pickle onion hybrid, and yeah. And at this point, I'm not sure if I'm more confused about what the next line is. We start some things in... Over at the bay, things are happening. Dr. Akana is still incredibly attractive. I can't believe I forgot that line. The Rangers regroup with Dr. Akana, making sure that she's okay. Javi tells Ollie that it's time for the interview. At the base, Solon scans for any other ad-lib. At the base, Solon scans for any interfering frequencies and finds a shortwave transmission coming from about a mile from the two. At the base, Solon scans for any interfering frequencies and finds a shortwave transmission coming from about two. Oh my gravy. Mucus and Slyther head to the... Episode 15, Storm Surge. Pros, we should learn more about Gold in the next episode, but this time handled far worse. Kind of like last time, right down to being an Ollie Focus episode, come to think of it. This episode feels more like setup. The moral was once... That is going to wrap up another Power Rangers Dino Fury episode review. Thank you, heroes, so much as always for watching. Now that the video's done, you can let me know what you thought of this episode, and yeah.